Greetings, Afterlifers, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. And today we'll be talking about Vampyr, a game from Don't Nod, released in 2018, where you are Dr. Jonathan Reed, human turned vampire. And throughout the game, you not only have to battle the 1918's flu epidemic that's ravaging through London, but also discovering your origins as a newborn vampire who also has to struggle with his humanity. Or balancing his humanity over his vampirism. Now, with that being said, there's none of that here. There is none of that here. Sorry to report that if you're expecting a very morally complex vampire game where you have to make some tough decisions as a human or a vampire, you are not going to get it here. There is a lot of writing to indicate as such possibilities, but the reality is far more sad than we should have gotten more with this with the choice system here, because the game tells you right off the bat, like, hey, you have a choice here. The choice is yours whether you want to save London or not. And really, you think that would be the case, but this game shifts from a complex moral gray area to automatically good guy, bad guy. And what I mean, for example, is that in one of the districts that you have to maintain the balance in, the war against the flu, there is this landlord that's just an absolute piece of shit human being, and you're like, I'm gonna take him out because he's a piece of shit human being. Well, unfortunately, because you do, you're going to get locked out of 100% achievement of sanitizing the area from the flu, essentially, which is batshit bonkers. And it's like, wait, what, really? Like, you can't tell me that I can't have somebody replace him? Or nope. You have to do your utmost best to put your humanity first over your vampirism, which is... okay, like, that's a little dumb. Then why are you having this game that there's a choice system to be made here? Sadly, there is no choice to be made here. You are forced to either be a good vampire, a human vampire, or a bad human vampire. There's no complicated gray area here. The first act and second act for the writing and the story is great. It's awesome. And then the third act happens where it takes on a mythical approach that almost feels like it's sequel baited or prequel baited in this case. And and unfortunately, what's worse is that, and I say what's worse right off the bat, because once you really start Act 3, the whole mood changes, and you just go from one thing to another with very little like conflict, right? You join this high society vampire club thinking that, oh, you're gonna take down the head of the club. No, you don't. He just says, okay, well, for God and country, Dr. Jonathan Reed. And I'm like, wait, what? You made me your sworn enemy and blah blah blah. You're not gonna make me. I'm not gonna fight you. It was like, okay, weird. And by the end of the game, you're just like, you don't care about the dialogue anymore. You don't care about the lore tidbits scattered throughout the world of Vampyr. You just want to finish it, right? Which sucks, because they have a lot of lore built here, but because of the execution of the writing and the story, it in the third act, you kind of just like, oh man, I should have given more time and pause, but I couldn't, because the writing was just, what is this, right? And it's just insane to me. It's absolutely insane to me. The combat is just, and also too, while the combat is your go-to hack and slash, level up and all that, the combat suffers because of this, right? Because unless you give into your vampiric desires, you will be grinding the levels in Vampyr. Even on story mode, I had to grind a few levels because I couldn't get the XP, because I didn't want to end any more lives, right? And going back to the dialogue, if you miss any dialogue, any hints, anything that you miss, you could end up risking an entire district in Vampyr, all because you missed a dialogue piece. And that happened to me, and I was like, okay, that's ridiculous. But again, they really want to emphasize on the dialogue. On basically, the best description I can give you is it tries to be Vampire the Masquerade. It tries to be a Vampire the Masquerade, but Masquerade Bloodlines specifically. But ultimately, it falls a little. It falls short of meeting that. And when I mean short, I mean when you look at the skeletal outline, the writing, the potential, it's all there, right? But sadly, because of how they made the story out to be, you're gonna find yourself wanting for more. And by the time you end up finding, but however you can make this game fun, it's still not enough, and that's a damn shame. Do I recommend it? Do I recommend it? Well, that's I gotta take a look at the price for this. So at $40, I do not recommend it. I do not recommend this at $40. If anything, I recommend this when it's on sale. Because again, it's still a great game, but do not expect Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines quality. Do not expect that. Do not expect an engaging story here. Expect your cookie cutter, typical action adventure hack and slash vampire game about a human turned vampire struggling with his mortality, balancing his life as a human vampire, kind of sort of, while also trying to save London and discover his origins of him being a vampire. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get it, because if it had a prequel, I could have loved the game more, because it clearly showed that this universe had so much potential. But whether because of budget or low sales, whatever happened, we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get any more out of this. So if you enjoyed this podcast episode of Vampyr, then leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're listening to this on any of the other podcasting platforms. Then leave a like, comment, and leave a like on there and support it and all that stuff. And I will see you on the next episode. Bye bye.